Welcome to Life Full of Joy. Today's episode is The Crooked Path with your host, Deb McGregor.
This is Deb McGregor of Life Full of Joy. Today we are going to work on increasing your joy factor by talking about the crooked path and the gift in not always having a straight and clear path. Have you ever noticed that life can often take you on a winding road with many twists and turns? Even though we focus so often on having a clear path to success, what if we focused on the gifts in a crooked path? Is it possible that the lessons learned from a crooked path will teach us and guide us to our goals if we have intention of knowing that everything in life has purpose and that it is the how we use the crooked path that makes all the difference? I believe there is a gift in everything. Let's explore the gift in the crooked path. To illustrate the concept at a deeper level, I'll use a real-life example shared with the client's permission, of course. One of my clients came into our coaching session with many things that had taken place since our previous session. She said there were many twists and turns in the path she had intended to be on, and yet as she looked forward, not only were there several forks ahead, but each of those forks had twists and turns. She wanted to coach around the impact of having twists and turns and not having a straight, exact path. I thought, where is this going? She began talking about the learning and mile markers being established on the route. I asked her to name some of the markers. She named the place where she currently stood as mile marker 13. As she looked at the miles already accomplished, there were things like finishing high school, graduating from college, getting married, having child 1, having child 2, deciding to stay home with children and leave a professional job, dealing with the death of a parent, coping with weight gain, and feeling lost spiritually. As my client looked forward, she saw other markers in the horizon, but almost as if the path were still crooked. Each path had its own unique markers. Down one path, there were markers for child 3, move to another location, develop a deeper relationship with God, lose weight, and continue staying home. Down another path, there were markers for returning to a job outside the home, staying in current home, building an addition, and losing weight. Down a third path, there were markers for losing weight, developing a deeper relationship with God, returning to work outside the home, and building a stronger relationship with her husband. Lots of paths, lots of curves, lots of markers. We started to notice some common threads: losing weight, developing a deeper relationship with God, wanting to be there for her family, and a desire for some sort of career. We also looked at what wasn't being said. She was feeling a lack of fulfillment. So as we continued in the session, she embraced the concept of fulfillment. She also began to look at each of the mile markers on all the paths and how each one had learning and growth. Each mile marker up to her number 13 had given her gifts and skills to use in making her choices for the next mile marker, and that regardless of which crooked path she made moving forward, there wasn't a right or wrong. It was about choosing the path that led to fulfillment, and that from fulfillment, everything else would fall into place for her. As the session came to a close, she created her own crooked path that combined many of the mile markers she had discovered throughout the session. She also created an accountability plan to measure her progress and fulfillment in each of the areas. We celebrated her success in taking the crooked path. Are you ready to discover your crooked path? Let's increase your joy factor by continuing your learning. Do you have a crooked path? Where are you on your path? What do your mile markers look like? Can you name them? What learning and growth have you had in each of these markers, as well as the path in between? What learning do you want to carry forward from your crooked path? How do you want to celebrate your crooked path? Thanks for tuning in. I'm Deb from Life Full of Joy. Increase your joy factor today.